his name?
Brian.
Yeah, I had to say Brian.
All right. Well, all right. Well,
And
so
TJ is finally taking the plunge and watching the new Star Wars film.
Yeah, I saw that right before we got in the call.
We're actually...
Everybody appreciates The Last Jedi now. That's for fucking sure.
All right, well, we're
I didn't think it was that bad to begin with.
It was fine.
We're not talking, guys. We're live. We're live.
Yeah, I know. We're just talking.
I know.
You can start the episode literally at any time, Mac.
Damn it! Yeah, that is right. Fuck. Yeah.
This is all on you, not on us.
Look, we're recording this time, motherfuckers. So you can't blame me. We're doubled this time. All right. So, guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of. Damn it! What's
Coastal State of Film.
We might as well say Coastal State of Films.
Coastal State of Film. And Zach.
There's Zach.
Coastal State of Film, and in the least infected area of all of you.
Oh my god! Don't even bring that up, because my state alone has more cases than any other country.
Yeah, my state alone got what, like 1,000? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at like 160,000. So shut up.
I haven't seen.
I'm pretty sure there's been more deaths in my state than there have been cases in yours.
That is true.
That is 100% true.
We didn't even cross we didn't even coast the hundreds in deaths. So yeah. All right, but all seriously, people, make sure you wash your hands and clean yourselves up before you touch people, and don't touch your eyes or anything. You want to survive this thing. Practice social distancing, like we are. Yay!
It's like we don't need to practice social distancing. This has always been an online show.
I mean,
you know something, Eric? I'm gonna touch the shit out of you.
Fucking try it. See if you can try to get into my state. We're on lockdown, motherfucker.
What the fuck, man? That sounded awful. Jeez. Isolate that clip, somebody, and play it back to him anytime he tries to rib one of us. That's like blackmail footage right there.
Yeah, your blackmail is. I remember this, Mac. But anyway, guys.
Actually, I woke up and somebody had pissed in the foyer.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, what? He just left it. I'm like, what?
Are you sure you don't live in New York?
Yeah, you sure?
Because that seems like a definite, if not New York City, definitely that definitely seems like a Nassau thing to happen.
I just picture New York, like people just pissing in the middle of the stairs in an apartment. Is that New York?
Parts of it. Certain parts of the city, yeah.
Well,
also as a disclaimer, if I'm looking over here, it's not because I'm not paying attention. I'm just farming clams because this is the day of the Animal Crossing fishing tournament, and this thing takes a long time.
It's like your Pokemon Go days. Does Pokemon Go exist anymore?
Yeah, it's like they're finally actually doing online competitive stuff, and it's like I just haven't played in like 6 months.
They probably took the inspiration from how well Teppen's doing then.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, guy, Zach is trying to avoid this because he really don't want to talk about this movie. All right, so guys, this is.
I did not watch it a third time.
We'll get into it.
So this is It Rotten? And guys, what we do here on the show is we take a film and we talk about, is it rotten? And we try to go over the scenes, the good scenes and the bad scenes, and try to establish, is it rotten? Then we make a sequel. So without further ado, we did our first show. I fucked it up. I'm going to admit that. I fucked up the first show. But this show, you voted for me again. Thank you guys. I love you. So, this episode,
wait. We're not doing Bloodsport again? I wore my Kumite shirt.
No. I wanted to.
No, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, right? You know, Blue Streak?
No. Actually, which Sonic the Hedgehog?
That's the OVA. That's what we're doing, right?
No!
Yeah, we're talking about the one that was on VHS.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, come on. Best scene and line is, you might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh. And of course, there had to be a cat girl in it. Of course.
All right, so
It's a shame, really.
Yeah, a shame. All right, so guys, you know me,
I mean,
Matt.
we can't cover the new Sonic movie because that's not rotten.
No, it's not, isn't it? This sucks. I love to talk about it though. But guys, like usual, it's me, Mac, and I have Zach.
Mm.
Okay.
I have Red Bull.
Awesome. Scott is the new person taking over. Come on, Scott.
What up?
He is our fourth person. I made that joke in the episode that got lost.
and motherfucking Eric.
No, it's just regular Eric. I got the hat, which is also a joke from the episode we lost because I couldn't find my hat. People aren't going to get these references if you don't record them, Mac. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a shame, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, then there was when Mac ghosted all of us, you know, with the ass cheeks and everything.
That didn't happen. Y'all are some motherfucking liars. Anyway, we're here to talk about Blue Street. And like always, we always talk about the best thing, best line, and then we talk over from the worst thing to the worst line or worst change derivative, and then we do a remake. All right, so let's first, before we start, we get into that. Let's talk about our first time seeing this film. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Zach, and then I gotta go because I heard something beeping. But Zach, you go first.
Okay. First time I saw this was like I saw half of this while drunk.
Yeah, makes sense.
I can't really tell you what age I was, as that would be a bad idea.
It was 7.
Hey, you have no idea when my first drunk was. It was very early. I live in Wisconsin.
I mean, it was only a half joke.
Yeah. But and then I had to watch it twice again within the last 2 weeks because the first time I watched it, I couldn't remember a goddamn thing. And the second time, I at least wrote things down, and that's what I'm going off of because I still am having a hard time remembering anything about it.
Oh, okay.
It's just not. It holds no interest to me.
Right.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'll go next.
Yeah,
So I've never heard about this movie until Mac picked it. not a single goddamn thing. And it's just your standard Martin Lawrence movie. That's yeah. It's bog standard Martin Lawrence. It's like he plays the same character pretty much everything, only this time he's actually a bad guy.
Sort of.
He definitely.
He is a criminal protagonist.
Yes.
I have not watched nothing yet. Nothing to help. No, was it Tim Robbins? Was it Nothing to Lose? Anyway.
Hey, I avoid Martin Lawrence.
Tell me 3 things that are different between his performance here and his performance in College Road Trip. You can't.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It is the movie. It is the movie where he played the father of Raven Simone, and they go around the country searching for colleges. Keep in mind, Raven Simone was, I think, like 30 when they shot that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Raven Simone is Corey in the House. Corey in the House is an anime, right?
Yeah. It's like the only reason I haven't been on Anime Urami is because you won't let me only answer Corey in the House.
You are a boomer of memes. Am I wrong? I think I remember hearing that so long ago.
No, it's still a meme. It's still a meme. It's one of those ones that just won't die.
Yeah, it won't. All right, Scott, your thoughts first time?
Well, I mean, I saw this movie a lot when I was growing up. It was always on TV, and I was a big Martin Lawrence fan. I love Bad Boys. I've seen Nothing to Lose. I saw Nothing to Lose in theaters. So, yeah, this was one that I liked a lot as a kid, and I haven't revisited since then. And yeah, revisiting it, it's not as good as I remember. It's
Oh,
basically
Matt,
like
you're
a
alone on this island.
yeah, it's kind of like a bad Beverly Hills Cop meets 48 Hours.
You know what? That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So it's like Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Hey,
Fair.
I
That's
love
fair.
Beverly Hills Cop
That's fair.
3.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen it in probably like 20 years.
All right. Well, look, I picked the film. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say I love the film. I remember watching the film as a kid, and I thought it was amazing. And then I looked at my tomatoes, and I was like, okay, there's no way this should be a rotten film. So I went to watch it again, and I was like, okay, there's some parts that just don't hold up as much as I thought as a kid. We'll get to it later. But there's some parts but look, I'm a Martin Lawrence fan. I'm a big Martin Lawrence fan. I love Martin Lawrence comedy skits, comedy routines. Look, I love Martin. Screw you, Zach. I love Martin. Martin, I grew up on as a kid. I love the show. So I thought it was a great show. And I just love Martin Lawrence, and I love what he does. And I love Bad Boys. I love Bad Boys 2. Hell, I even love Bad Boys 3. I love the whole series. So, look, when I watched this, I went into it with open eyes, and I went into it thinking, okay, it's all right film, but we'll get to it later. All right, best scene. Eric, not Eric. No, I'm gonna go with the person who hates this the most. Zach.
You were dangerously close to breaking out the chart.
Yes, I was. So I'd say best scene, probably the car chase. That's at least good. I can respect a good car chase.
Okay.
Yeah, it was decently done. Like, my only question was like, where was Luke Wilson during that whole scene?
Look, that's like 90% of the film.
Look, Luke Wilson.
His whole thing was driving fast, like learning to drive fast and be more dangerous.
Look,
and then he's not in the final chase scene.
Look, I mean, I kept on thinking this was advertised as a buddy cop movie. This is not a buddy cop.
It's
movie.
not.
You see Luke Wilson like what 3-4 times? Feels like
this is the actual cop is very incompetent, and look at this criminal do a much better job at being a cop than the cop.
Cops are incompetent. Not a single person in law enforcement is competent in this movie.
No.
And of course, the most incompetent one is the only one to figure out that he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Like the chief,
and he lets him get away.
Like the chief is in love with Malone for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Now, if they would have gone hard into that with him being literally in love with Malone, I could respect that.
That would have been interesting. An interesting turn of events.
That'd be a dynamic.
It would have been funny, yeah. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Eric?
For my favorite scene, because there's a couple of scenes, just sort of strung together of him trying to chase the diamond, from one point to the other. But probably my favorite part of that is when he can't find it in the duct, and then he looks at the duct and sees that it's leaking, and then that's when he finds out everything about the water leakage, and then that's like actual detective work, and more detective work than the actual detectives do. And it's like it just proves that like if like you make like a couple of changes to this movie and he would have just become a cop by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know why he didn't.
I know it's infuriating.
It's unsatisfying.
Because he wouldn't get to keep the diamond if he's a cop.
Yeah.
We'll get to the ending.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will talk about the ending.
Yeah, we will. Scott?
My favorite scene, or the best scene, I guess, would be like the opening robbery. I thought that was pretty well done. The thing with the zip line was pretty fun, where he cuts it as he stops himself midway.
How does he afford these things if he doesn't have a diamond?
Good question.
Well, he was already a bank robber, and if Payday 2 has taught me anything, you invest most of your your profits from being a bank robber into being a better bank robber.
True. It's like in Fast Five, how they are able to afford a safe and all these different cars to rob a bank.
And
you always invest.
And then you make Overkill's The Walking Dead, and then you get found out you were part of the Swedish mafia. That's how that works. Seriously, not joking. That's the story of the developer.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
No, it's Eric's.
No, I already did my turn.
Yeah.
I talked about him discovering that the figuring out what happened, why the diamond wasn't where it was.
Yeah, he was a detective. Yeah.
I don't know. I just blanked.
You just really just don't want to go. Okay. Look, my favorite scene. Look, I'm surprised nobody picked it. I just love the part where it's just him and Dave Chappelle just doing funny stuff. Like, if I had a particular scene from Dave Chappelle, that scene with Dave Chappelle was when he was in there and he was sitting up there and he was sitting there behind the garbage can and just shooting. He said, "Miles, why? Why?
It's like
drugs. He's hallucinating.
He's on that shit."
Yeah, the Chappelle was kind of wasted though in this movie.
A little bit.
Extremely.
Like, he was doing the best with what he could, but there wasn't a lot to work with.
Yeah.
You can see like him getting close to Tyrone Biggums and like you can see the character forming for that later.
Right.
Why wasn't he the driver at the end?
Because everything is awful.
He wasn't the driver because they already had the driver and they were expecting the driver.
Why couldn't he have just been the driver that they were expecting? And that's why he has to let him out of prison.
Look, we can rewrite this film later.
Yeah. We can fix these obvious flaws later.
In the sequel. Yeah, you get more. Okay, so let's talk about best line. Zach?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out which one because I have two of them. I'm gonna go with just "We got guns and shit." Like, not even the stuff before it, just that phrase.
We got guns and shit. That was a good line.
We got guns.
Because that like woke me out of my stupor for like 5 minutes. I'm like, wait, what?
You know that.
Yeah, every so often, like Martin Lawrence will pop out like an improv line, and it'll be pretty good.
Eric?
If I had to choose one, like the scene itself wasn't great, but just the line with his ex-girlfriend, just like, why do you think I never visited you over 2 years? It's just like there's so many other problems with that scene, but that line is great.
Right. Scott?
I was gonna actually pick a line from that scene too, but I got a different one. Also from the opening robbery is when he's talking with John Hawkes, who should have been the bad guy. He's talking with John Hawkes at the safe, and he's like, "First, you got to check if it's open." And he pretends to check. He's like, "It's open."
That also is pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh shit. There's so many good lines. So many good, funny improv lines that Martin Lawrence does. But I think the one that I like is when he's telling the guy at the end, and I just remember this. Stop eating cold cuts because it's seeping. And I was laughing. I gotta laugh at that every time. If I had to pick an honorable mention, it's the what was it? The ridges in my. You see the ridges in the shoe. You gonna see it. You see the ridges in the shoe in your ass.
See, my honorable would be the cat in your pants thing.
Oh crap!
That was yeah.
My honorable mention from the scene that Eric picked is when he's talking to Octavia Spencer, who's in this movie for a second, and he's like, "I apologize. Can I buy you some cereal?"
All right, Zach. Let's get to your favorite part. What's the worst part of this? What is the worst scene of this movie, Zach?
I mean, this is a undertaking.
You can pick one.
Worst part is him in the bathroom for me. It is too dumb for words.
You're talking about when he got out there and I mean, okay.
When he was trying to open the vent and all of that, you're just like
the
What are you-
first time he went after the diamond.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is so it's like that is it's too dumb. Like it just takes you right out. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like it's gonna be in there. Why would it be in there? Why did you go in the back? Like, I don't understand the logic of any of it.
Yeah, so much of what he does just seems to be like at the seat of his pants. He doesn't really think about what he's doing. He's like,
which is
I can
which
go
is
there, no
really
problem."
unlike a bank robber, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unlike a bank robber or a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like the first 15 minutes, everybody's saying like, "Oh, you're the boss. You're so smart," and then he goes and does the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
It's like he's got like the character he's playing, and then just every now and then he just slips right back into Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's like this is as like literally any other Martin Lawrence character would do this exact same thing.
It's like
Yeah.
every
Just Martin
15
Lawrence
minutes,
is
he
Martin
forgets that he's
Lawrence.
pretending to be
Yes.
a cop.
Yeah. All right, Zach. That was a good
Zach-
one.
Nice recovery.
Yeah.
Eric, what is your pick?
All right, so we're going right into it. It's the entirety of that whole. It's like after they've had the standoff in Mexico and they're at the border, and the whole sort of like, Martin Lawrence crosses over the border, and then Luke Wilson's like, by the way, I know you're Miles. I figured it out.
And then he
But
lets him get away
there's
with
nothing
murder.
I can do. You're across the border. And it's like,
Wow. What?
because like if you knew enough about Miles to know that he would be looking for the diamond, you would know what his face looked like. That entire precinct had zero clue that the dude who broke into their building and probably hid a diamond in there, just notorious jewel thief who just got released out of prison, literally shows his face in your precinct pretending to be a cop. And it takes the most incompetent detective in all of movie history, probably, that is actually not just a throwaway character, to figure this out. Are you joking?
There's a Mr. Magoo movie. So no.
Yeah. It's pretty damn Magoo.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn Magoo.
I'm like, that's the
Yeah,
only
but in a
thing I can
precinct
think
full
of that's
of
close.
Magoo.
That fuck you! I just never know that's a movie. Damn it! Oh, fuck you!
And then they let him get away with murder and grand larceny.
Yes. they like, I'm like, he's like, yeah, you probably have the diamond, but there's no way we can stop
Well,
you.
technically, Scott did he get away? I mean, technically,
Yeah, he definitely got
He's
away.
in
The
Mexico
last
and he
scene-
has the diamond.
no,
the
he
last
didn't
part of
kill
the
that guy.
movie is
He was
jumping in
about.
jail with the diamond in hand.
Technically, that was self-defense because he was going to
Yeah,
shoot.
well, it was self-defense, correct.
Yeah, he was.
But
gonna
I don't know.
shoot.
It
I don't
was
know
self-defense
Mexican
in
law.
Mexico. What is Mexican law?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the stand your ground laws are in Mexico. You
That
know.
is true. But, hey, amigo, you
Also, this is like a pre 9/11 world. This movie, so who knows?
Yeah,
what the-
who knows? Yeah.
It's he killed a guy in self-defense, but after he claimed that he was a federale. So
Mhm, that is true.
That's true.
So impersonating
many
an
crimes.
officer, then murder. Yeah.
impersonating an officer who was already impersonating an officer who was also already impersonating. He's like 4 levels deep of impersonating different officers.
Yeah,
'cause-
already
Right
got
when he
6
said that he was
stars.
like an
And-
IA, like when
Yeah,
he was an IA.
it's like, first he was pretending to be a detective, then he was pretending to be IA, then they thought he was FBI, then they're like, oh no, I'm a federale.
Well, for me,
It's just like,
he already got 6 stars.
This movie insults your intelligence real bad.
It does. I admit that.
Also, you also have to have that sort of like that sinking feeling in the back of your head that this is a movie about a black guy in the LAPD post Rodney King.
that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to remember that this entire movie is post Rodney King, and it's like ooh.
Oh,
None
yeah.
of this is believable.
No.
No. You're just waiting for it to go all Rampart on you.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well,
And
Great
this
movie,
is
by
like
the
this
way.
is 96. This is like just barely post Rodney King.
true. Oh, Zach. Damn it.
I'm not Zach.
Give me
Break
a
out the
sec.
chart.
I actually have it. I'm just
Yes.
minimizing it.
All right.
All right.
So you guys all know how Max sort of confuses me and Zach all the time. And now Scott has been thrown into the mix. And now it is Scott who was just mistaken. So here's the chart.
Scott, beard. Eric, hat and glasses. Me, hat, goatee, sideburns, glasses. It's pretty simple, Mac.
Pretty simple.
You know I'm gonna forget that shit. So what's the point?
The point is now I have it to whip out anytime I please.
All right, Scott.
Worst scene for me was the entire thing with the captain and the itch cream.
Oh shit! That was my
Ooh.
backup
Ooh,
answer.
ooh, yeah.
It was horrible
Ooh, yeah.
and completely pointless. Like,
Oh.
why did they have the chief and then the captain? Like, I don't know
And
what
then
was
he went
going
to shake his hand, and you know he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it is a sort of comedic dramatic irony that we know that he knows that he did that, but
Yeah.
he doesn't know that he knows that he did that.
But then he sniffs his fingers,
Yeah.
God, what the fuck?
and then he knows for sure what he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh, God, no,
I actually feel sorry for the guy because you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but wash your hands.
Yeah, wash
If
your
we've learned
hands.
anything recently.
This goes into what our subject today.
Wash your damn hands, kids.
Wash your damn hands.
Actually, not
people.
kids. We're not children's content. Wash your damn hands, people ages 16 and up.
Yes. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth.
Maybe I should just break out the Bernie Mac and just start addressing America, just generally America.
America.
Hey, what are people with contacts doing right now? That's what I
Ooh,
want.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes! They're just wearing their glasses, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can really do bad then.
I am so glad I'm not wearing glasses. I'm not wearing contacts.
Okay, do I need a new chart to let you?
No!
All right, we need to
Mac,
put
you're the one with
put
glasses.
Mac's features on there so Mac knows what Mac looks like.
All right. Well, look, I have to say the worst thing to me. Well, I love Martin, but after there's years of one character he kept doing. There's characters he kept doing, and they all look the fucking same. While I do love Otis, I do love Otis the policeman. The other ones are just like, what? I mean, and his mom. I did like his mom, but the others were like, ugh. So when he literally played dress up as the pizza man, I was like, this don't hold up. This really does not hold up. Getting the pizza for the people. I'm going to get the pizza for the people.
But so he
I had
went
that on
out of
both.
his way to put on a disguise to be the pizza man, but then he didn't to be the detective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole time he's just drawing attention to himself.
Yeah.
He's sitting there just doing the dance and everything. Like,
Yeah.
oh
I
my-
put that on my.
Also,
on my
what
best
happened
friend's-
seconds later after he stole Luke Wilson's ID?
Oh yeah, he just dances outside the door.
he dances outside the door, and then Luke Wilson is like, "Where's my ID?" Oh, I guess I need a new one.
I
Oh
mean,
boy.
look, here's my
He
thing.
become a detective.
Here's my thing.
How did he become a detective?
Yeah, here's the thing.
Nepotism.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
That's all I got.
I
That's
think
The Wilson boys.
yeah, it's the Wilson boys. But look, I love Luke Wilson. It's Luke. It's not Owen. Owen, I don't like. It's Luke. I love Luke because Luke is technically.
Wait, hold on. What's your problem with Owen Wilson?
I don't hate.
Omen is only good if Luke is there, in my opinion, to balance
Yeah,
him out.
I agree.
I don't know, man.
Excuse
Shanghai
me, have you
Noon?
guys never heard of a movie called Night at the Museum?
I have heard of it.
What
have
about
heard of it.
about Shanghai Noon?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't good. I hated that.
All right, is that rotten? Because we should do that movie.
Oh shit!
It
I
should
mean,
be.
if Shanghai Noon isn't, I bet I can guarantee you
Shanghai
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 Nights
Nights
is.
yeah. I didn't like. I kind of was like, you're getting kind of old to me. Shanghai Noon was good. Okay, we'll get to that later. But yeah, I didn't like the way he was dressing up. It was sort of
Look. At least Shanghai Noon is a great pun. Shanghai Nights is just a dumb title.
That's true.
it's true.
Yeah, and unless they turned it into a stoner comedy all of a sudden, where it'd be Shanghai Nights, you know.
Yeah,
maybe-
I mean, yeah, I think Shanghai Night, if they were actually getting high in that movie, it would have been good too. I mean, I'm just being honest.
How the fuck does that have a 79?
Shanghai Noon.
Yeah,
Oh,
What's
fuck.
what's Shanghai Nights at?
give me a sec. I'll find out. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely taken aback by that.
No, they got a
Awesome, man.
79.
Jackie Chan is best.
Actually, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I
it's
knew
at
that because I think I've actually looked it up before.
There's no way
Shanghai Nights
there's.
is 66.
66.
Oof.
Yeah,
So it's so close.
very close.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like, why are both of these are given better scores than this film?
Not good. Kick-Ass plays Charlie Chaplin in that movie.
I love that nobody actually knows the guy's name. We just know him. I sure as fuck don't know.
You know, knockoff Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I don't know his Aaron Taylor. Is it
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I think. I don't know. Maybe Aaron Taylor. I don't know.
It
Anyway,
looks like they're trying to make another one too, which is scary.
what, Shanghai?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, come on, Jackie Chan.
Shanghai Dawn,
Go
Let,
with it.
which
Really?
let Jackie Chan retire.
Yeah, let him retire.
Let Kick-Ass come back as older Charlie Chaplin.
I mean, I won't kick ass 3, I ain't gonna lie, but yeah. So
that's never gonna happen.
that's
Yeah,
not.
about it.
I wouldn't mind it, but I know it ain't gonna happen. So let's go ahead and worst line. Zach, you only can pick one.
I know. And it's funny you mentioned the disguise scene. So it went. It's like leaving candy around me. It's not gonna be all right. I'm gonna chomp it up. That is fucking awful. What
Okay.
like what is this exactly? What is this scene trying to portray? I don't know. That he likes candy? What does that fucking have to do with anything?
Okay.
It just gave another aspect to the character he's playing that he just abandoned 3 seconds later.
All right.
So, I'm sorry. It's really, really stupid. No one can disagree with me.
Right.
Oh.
Eric.
All right, so I'm going to go a little maverick on this one, and I'm just gonna say an entire character that was pointless, and that's the lawyer. It's like she shows up for like 3 different characters,
Yeah.
and each time it's just like, you're just here to be a bitch. That's it. That's the extent of your character.
One time she actively helps a criminal escape them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's like you expect them to do something that's like, oh, maybe they'll have like a subplot where she like by the end of the movie she's dating either Martin Lawrence or Luke Wilson. Nah, she's just a bitch.
Or even fucking Dave Chappelle. I
Yeah.
would have taken that.
No, she just exists to be a nuisance.
She's there as a cock tease. That's what she is.
Right. All right. Scott.
Worst line. It's when I can't remember. I think it was when Carlson was first driving and he was driving really slow and he says, "I've never got all up on anything, sir." Just, like,
Yeah, that was a very white line. Yes.
He did
Yeah.
not do
Like-
it deadpan enough to be funny. I
No,
think that's
yeah.
the thing. Like he just didn't do it as deadpan as he should have.
Yeah, there were a few lines that he had like that where like if it were somebody else delivering it, it might have been funny. Like sometimes you gotta feed a little speed to your ride.
Yeah.
Like maybe it could have
I
worked.
want Eugene Levy to say that shit. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That
Eugene
would-
Levy in that role would have been fun.
it was like, I don't get up on nothing. I was like, yeah, that would have been funny because he says the damn thing, and I did like that. This is hard. I would have to say, what do you need to make it work, Ramon? I was like, what the fuck, really? Like, why you gotta shout every time? That line got on my nerves a little bit. Like, it annoyed me, and I think it annoyed Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Chief had some really bad lines.
Yeah.
But that line in particular.
Oh, that's Malone.
Yeah, that's Malone. You know,
I'd say
but
Does he look like a Malone to you?
no,
really doesn't.
No.
Like he might as well be like called O'Shaughnessy or something.
He's Miles Logan. God damn it.
That's not much better.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
All right. Well,
I bet you Miles Logan also wasn't his name.
no,
Yeah.
it probably wasn't. All right. Zach, let's go ahead and get over. Is it rotten?
Of course it is.
What's your score?
Give me a second here because I want to mention a couple of things. One of the guys is from Becker, one of the people in it. I like Becker. Good show. That's all I can really think of. Like that's this movie's entire problem. It is nothing exceptional about it whatsoever.
Okay.
It just exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like I was describing in the chat, it's that VHS underneath that your parents bought. You don't know why, and it's just there. That's how I feel.
Right.
It's collecting dust for years. Somebody's like, oh, and then they put it right back where they found it.
It's like this. The best way I could probably put it, this movie is destined to be the third movie in a 3-pack Martin Lawrence movie set.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I agree.
like
I agree with that. I agree with
Night, nothing to lose.
Mine
No,
is-
nothing to lose. National security, and it should be in there
I-
with Blue Street.
I
It's
think
Blue
you're
Street.
giving it way too much credit. I think it'd just be in the special features.
Fuck
a
you,
fourth
Zach.
movie hidden in the special features.
Fuck
Yes.
you, Zach.
And there was actually apparently supposed to be a sequel to this,
Yes, it got repurposed into a different movie.
which
What would it even
has
be?
a lower score.
This feels like it was reworked from another movie already.
Exactly. This
It-
one is Anthony Hopkins and Chris Rock,
Yeah, right.
which is a terrible idea.
Oh boy, no.
I remember that
It's
one.
a 10%er.
All right, but what were you rank? What? So
I would give this maybe like I'd say 38.
okay. All right.
Like it's
Eric?
I've seen worse,
All right.
I think.
What is it? What is it? What is it on Rotten Tomatoes? Is it
36.
36? Okay. Eric, is it rotten?
Yeah, no, it's like much like Zach said, it's like it's mostly just unremarkable more than it is really bad, which is like, and it's like, you know, it's like I put it in sort of like that same sort of range that I if I were to reclassify Major League 2, I'd put it, it's like this is around where I would put Major League 2. So I'd give it like a 45.
Okay.
It's like I know I gave Major League 2 like just barely rotten, but now it's like now that I've really sort of honed in my things, I'd probably move it down to a 45.
Right. Scott, is it rotten?
Yeah, it is. It's not a great movie. It's like it feels really hard, like it's trying to be one of those Eddie Murphy movies from like the late 80s, 90s. And
You
it's
mean Beverly Hills Cop?
Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, a little bit of Metro even. But
Definitely
it's
not Daddy Daycare.
definitely not Daddy Daycare. But yeah, it's just failing at every step of the way, trying to be something like that. And
It's failing so hard at trying to be good.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because like it's like because Martin Lawrence to me works best when he is acting against the ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not when he is sort of the fish out of, well, say like with Black Knight notwithstanding, when he is like more so the straight man, just sort of like being like, it's like, what are you doing? But it's like, then Black Knight's like, it's a movie that's, he's taken from modern day, but he's the fish out of water in the past. But it is the only one that really works with that sort of flip. But a criminal working with the police is great in concept if they actually were able to figure out that he was the bad guy before the last seconds of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of tweaks that could be made to this movie to make it a really like solid comedy.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
mean, I don't think you could make it good, but I think you could make it like above rotten. I think that's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
All right,
So I would give it like a 41.
okay. Look, I love this film, but I also have to agree with y'all. It is rotten. Like I said, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, cool. And then not only that, it was on IFC on repeat every time, and I was like, I just got sick of it, and I was like, nah, this is rotten. This isn't fresh. This is actually rotten. But I don't agree that it's a 37. I actually agree with Eric. I would put it at a 45. I think it has some merits. It has, like I said, it has his funny moments. I don't give a
it has its funny moments, but
Yeah.
it's otherwise unremarkable.
It squanders them.
Yes.
Yeah. It has a lot of funny moments. I'll grant it. I grant it that.
Not a lot. A lot is overstating it.
Zach, it's my opinion. I think it has a lot of fucking funny moments. I'm agreeing with you. It's rotten. Let it go.
Well, you said 37 when I gave it a 38 already. So,
well, no, yeah, he was comparing it to the actual score.
Yeah. I think it don't deserve a 37. I think it's a 45. It's a 36.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you split the difference between the score that Zach gave it and the actual score.
My bad. I think it's a 45. I believe it's a 45 because it is rotten, but it isn't that bad. It ain't 37 rotten.
It ain't Wild Hogs.
Look, Wild Hogs has its merits, all right?
Yeah, no,
I like Wild Hogs.
No, it doesn't.
I like Wild Hogs.
It does not.
I like a nice mild turkey chili.
I just think like the whole I'm a wild pig from Morocco every time I see it. Some reason.
All right. Well, now, Zach, you get to fix this film with the sequel. So here we go. Sequel time. Zach.
Okay, I fixed this film by basically taking Martin Lawrence out. And I got this inspiration from Garfield without Garfield. I think if we reshot the entire film in the exact way it is, without anybody there, with no Martin Lawrence, this would be hilarious.
It's just Luke Wilson going crazy.
Exactly. Like it's seriously, like Blue Streak without Martin Lawrence would be great. I would like you're just imagining like all this crap happening. Like what is going on?
It's we could call it Streakless Blue Streak.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Like I I don't know why every once in a while I'll go back to reading Garfield without Garfield. And I'm like, why is this funnier than that script?
Because it's usually because John usually doesn't say anything till like John doesn't normally say anything in the second panel, so it's usually just moments of silence and then him saying something. So it just becomes hilarious.
All right. Well, that's pretty funny. I admit that. Eric.
All right. So obviously start the sequel where the second movie start the sequel where the first movie ends off with him in Mexico with the diamond. He then realizes that in Mexico, how is he going to sell the diamond? So he has to sneak back into the United States. And that is when the movie sort of actually becomes like a Catch Me If You Can sort of situation, where it's just Martin Lawrence pretending to be different jobs, trying to pawn off this diamond to finally make his to cash in his score. And it's Luke Wilson now that he's actually gotten confidence as a detective, chasing him down across the country, trying to not only bring him in, but also sort of bring him to the light, because he remembers him actually being such a good cop that he also it's like if he can't take him down, he wants to make him an actual cop by the end of the movie, and it could go either way.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Then they go off the cliff, Thelma and Louise style. Sorry, I don't know why they just popped.
But it's actually just through the Hollywood sign.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's GTA.
Okay, mine is like with Zach's, I am also getting rid of Martin Lawrence pretty early on. It starts with him in Mexico. He sold the diamond. He figured out how to do it in Mexico. But in the opening scene, he is killed by a robot version of John Hawkes' character. And now it's all about him going after his old crew. So the whole movie follows Dave Chappelle as Tully on the run from a cyborg.
Damn it.
It's Terminator.
I was gonna say that's either Terminator or Judge Dredd. Pick.
It's both, but starring Dave Chappelle and John Hawkes as a cyborg.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Look,
It's also Hobbs and Shaw.
yeah, I like that. Yeah. Think of it. I don't know how to top that, but okay. First of all, I want to say fuck you, Scott, for getting my head again, because I was sitting there thinking something. I was actually thinking about using Tully too. Fuck you.
You could still use Tully.
I was going to use
he's
Tully,
kind of up in the air at the end. The last we see of him, he's stealing heroin.
True.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. Look.
Yeah, like I said, he becomes Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah.
Right. Shut up. Look.
It's a perfectly logical progression.
Yeah.
No, look. This is what's going to happen.
All the Tyrone Biggums sketches take place in the same continuity as Blue Streak. Confirmed.
Look. For this, I'm gonna need the rights to a certain film, which I will get in the end. So we'll
Half Baked.
Fuck you, Eric.
I know how your mind works.
Yeah.
I can call these things from a mile away.
Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. Tully, I'm like I said, I'm not going with Martin Lawrence. He's done. It's over with. I am not putting Martin Lawrence in
Eric, how are you the only one who kept Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, Martin Lawrence is gone. He is gone. Everybody thought I was going to keep him. No, Martin Lawrence is out of this film. I'm focused on Tully. Tully is now literally getting a bunch of this drugs, getting all the drugs. He got all the drugs, and now he's sitting up there going in there, sitting there on the phone, and he's talking to his baby mom. He said, "Hey, listen." He said, "Listen, I'm no longer gonna be a driver. I am now a drug dealer. Okay, so what happens is he starts dealing drugs, and he starts doing it, and he starts to get comedy in it, and then he runs out of cocaine. He runs out of it, and he's starting to get a shortage of it. So then, who does he go to? He goes to a plant to go talk to. He goes talk to his cousin Thurgood. That's why I say fuck you, Eric.
His identical twin cousin.
It's
identical twin cousin. That works.
Identical twin cousin. We're gonna figure this out some way. Fuck you. Okay, so
that's exactly how they tried to explain it away in The Other Me, a movie about how a kid got cloned, and it's like, oh no, it's his identical cousin.
Yeah, it's his identical cousin. So he goes up to him. He said, "Hey, what's up, man? Yeah." He said, "I heard that you're selling some highly precious, very, very good stuff. You talking about some weed? Yeah, I'm talking about weed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna need about a whole, probably like this much. Can you give me that?" So He's like, I don't do that shit no more, man. He said, come on now. He said, look, I just got my second token from smoking weed. He said, how in the hell do you go to an AA meeting for weed, man? Come on, man. Go in there and get your ass in there and get me some weed. Okay, real quick. Okay, go in there. Get me like 2 bags. Okay. He said, in a blunt. So he goes up in there getting the weed, and he ends up getting a bunch of it, but the cops are after him, and he's with Thurgood. It's him and himself literally driving down the road, getting away from the cops, detouring, trying to sell this weed while trying to smoke it at the same time. And it's them and hijinks. And also Luke Wilson, who is now has lost his detective license, is now a beat cop, is chasing them in this blue and white in this blue outfit while he's chasing them along the road. He's chasing them down, and we got a full. This is basically what I want to do is combine Up in Smoke, Up in Smoke, not Up in Smoke, but I want to combine, I want to Cheech and Chong. I want to combine Cheech and Chong with
Cheech and Chong. What?
Cheech and Chong.
Cheech
and Chong.
They're two separate people. They are two separate names. Put some space between there.
Okay.
And
but y'all get it. Cheech and Chong combined with
it's not a goddamn Pokemon.
Although I would love to see them turned into one.
Yeah.
That would be
awesome.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, but I want to combine that with basically a long car chase and
So you want to make Mad Max by way of Cheech and Chong?
Exactly.
That's a terrible idea.
I don't know.
Mad Max 420 Road.
Yeah, that does not work.
Or no, Mad Max Route 420.
It would literally be them in the van smoking as the rest of the movie goes by.
Exactly. Yes. That's exactly what's gonna happen. You don't know what
isn't that exactly what Mad Max did in Mad Max Fury Road?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's basic. No, I take that back. Not Mad Max. I'm sorry.
Death Race.
Future
Rat Race. Okay.
Rat Race. Yeah, Rat Race. I got it in my head. Yeah, Rat Race. I thought about it for a minute. Yeah. Eric is right behind me.
Well, you have this limited bag of concepts that you draw from, and it's just a matter of figuring out which one.
Look.
I mean, I clearly cracked the code, so
yes.
No, Zach. Look. I at least put fucking effort in my dabbling pitch. I didn't just take a hair down and reuse the damn movie. I put fucking effort.
Look, Streakless is funny. All right,
it's funny, but I put effort.
Look, the idea of an avant-garde comedy, like, it wasn't my original pitch. Like, that wasn't my original idea. My original idea was to make an MST3K style with nothing but Martin Lawrence characters.
That would have been bad.
That would have been funny.
So it's like,
watched that.
But I like the idea of it without Martin Lawrence more.
Look, I just want Dave Chappelle to get some respect because he was a funny character in that film and he should have been used more, and I feel like Tully should be used more.
Yeah.
All right. In my movie, he actually got his life together.
Mine is just Tyrone Bigum's on the run from a robot.
You son of a bitch.
It's a character piece. It's all about Tully.
I mean,
the movie's actually just called Tully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Tully.
that one character?
And then he lands a plane in the Hudson.
What's that character that David Cross did on Mr. Show that got his own movie? Run, Ronnie, Run. That's a character piece where he took a character from a sketch.
Yeah.
Pretty decent, actually.
And and also in my film they run over Donnie Darko. I just want to make sure that's done. I want to make sure that's done.
I don't think you're going to be able to get the rights to all these movies, man.
Yeah.
Look,
this ain't Ready Player One.
Yeah. You combined 3 different franchises.
Well, I just want to kill Donnie Darko with a bus. It would have been more interesting than the plane. Oh shit!
Somebody with a bus more interested in killing.
I was going to say that makes no conceptual.
No! I take that back. They kill the person in Final Destination, and they are driving the bus. Boom!
This ain't Scary Movie.
Yeah. No, this is much worse than Scary Movie.
Yeah, you're making one of those terrible parody movies. Like the early
You-
2000s.
I mean,
literally the
Martin
joke I just
to
made.
be fair,
Thank you.
Martin Lawrence would be all over it. Like, admit that. Like, the Wayans brothers call him. You want to be in these shitty movies? Hell yeah.
He wouldn't do that. He ain't that low. That's a low.
He
bar.
was in the black remake of Death at a Funeral. He has no credibility.
So was Chris Rock.
I know, and I believe that Chris Rock took a long time.
Chris
to get any
Rock and
credibility
Kevin
back.
Hart was in that film.
But-
I stand by my statement.
Look,
James Marsden, who was in Sonic.
yeah.
look. Chris Rock allowed his friend to make Grown Ups, and then was in it. But he had the sense to not be in what was it, Pixels?
Yeah. All right. Well,
Peter Dinklage was, and he was also in the Death at a Funeral remake.
Peter
Bringing it all
Dinklage
together.
outside of certain films, like his filmography is nuts.
Tiptoes.
Like, what
We
was
got
that
it in
one?
Tiptoes.
That one time he dated Liz Lemon in 30 Rock.
Yeah, wasn't he in the? Wasn't he an Underdog?
yeah, I think he was.
He was an elf.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was the person that Will Ferrell kept calling an elf.
All right. Well, we got it.
Short jokes.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys. Well, that's it for it.
Can I give a theory on why this movie performed better than it probably should have?
What?
It's because of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack actually was number 31 on Billboard 200 and number 9 on the top R&B and hip hop albums.
Let me have Lil Wayne in it.
And
Yeah, Lil Wayne is good.
is he?
He is. Fuck you.
All right,
Like,
let's end this
look, there's like
before
12
these two kill each other.
songs, maybe.
Fuck you, Zach. He is awesome. Anyway, let's go ahead and end this. That was a good show. We're closing the book on Blue Streak. I have recorded it. Yes! We have recorded this. Eric, I recorded it. Fuck you. And fuck you, Zach. I recorded this shit. It's on YouTube and Dad Blame. Fuck y'all.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Look, fuck you too, Scott.
I literally never said anything.
Okay, I just want to say that because
Scott's actually been silent this entire episode. I've just
you have been thinking that all of you have been talking shit.
Look, I've just been talking shit in my own head.
Do it.
And it'd be weird if I wasn't talking shit. So
Yeah, it would be. But
Like if we were all here completely silent and let you go, that would be bad.
yeah,
would be
we would have 0 viewers.
Shut up. All right.
Viewership.
Shut up. It would have been good. Anyway, well, guys, seeing that I won the poll, I get to choose the next film.
Whoa, that's not how that goes.
No, choose the next category for us.
Category, yeah.
Category. That's what he meant. I know what he meant. So
Eric's our translator.
Yeah.
I translate Gamer Grudge. You translate Is It Rotten?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So, my pick for your topic, yes, I want you to pick a sports comedy that is rotten.
Oh, I've already got mine. I've already called it. I have already called it.
What is
None of
it?
you can take it. I need to double check.
Look, just say
it. Balls of Fury.
Damn it!
Yes. Balls of Fury.
I think basketball.
Yes! What do y'all pick that one?
I mean, I think that one's rotten. Yeah, it's rotten.
It's rotten. Yeah, I was hoping one of y'all picked that because I can't put my own bit film in it. That would have been my pick. Scott, you got one already?
I got a couple that are coming to mind. I'm not sure if they're rotten. Like I'm thinking of Blades of Glory.
Oh, that's for sure rotten.
There's no way it's not, but I'll check.
Yeah, that's what.
No, it's at a 70.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people like it. I don't know. Tentatively, Major League 3, Back to the Minors.
Fuck, damn it. No! Zach is like, finally, fuck you, Zach.
21%.
Oh, yeah. There's no way that was going to be a non-Rotten.
No, I wanted to know how low it was.
I hate you so much, Zach. You just said
Starring Scott Bakula and Walton Goggins. Come on, guys.
come on.
Look, Bob Euchre's in it, and that at least is a thing.
Oh, God.
All right, now let's all hope that Balls of Fury wins because I need to win one of these polls eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would hope Balls of Fury. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm rooting for basketball because I really want to see that. It's funny. It's really funny.
But
little
Christopher
bitch.
Walken.
Come on.
How long have we waited for it to have Christopher Walken on an episode here?
This is true.
This is true, but we also got.
What are you talking about, Scott? This is your first episode.
This is my second episode.
You really think I'm just gonna let that slide?
This
Like,
ain't
fine.
DuckTales. You can't solve a mystery and rewrite history.
What are you talking about? I'm like Jack Black in that episode of Community. I've been here the whole time.
No, you're more like Minkus in the episode of Boy Meets World when they graduated. I've been here the whole time. I've just been over there in the dark part of the school.
I've been down in that hallway over there.
Oh my god!
Hi, Mr. Turner.
Oh boy! So let's hope basketball or Balls of Fury wins, and not back to the minors. But anyway, guys, that's going to our picks. Hopefully, you'll pick one of those three. We're going to do a poll. I'm not picking this.
I mean, if somehow you don't pick one of those three, I'd be astonished if you voted in the poll.
Yeah, I'm not in this. I'm not in this. So let's go ahead and do our plugs. Scott, start with Zach. Fuck.
I really don't have anything. I've been streaming Strider.
All right, Eric.
You can find me on my Twitter at BunkBunker. You can find me defending that belt at some point soon in May. And yeah, that's about it. Here, usually.
Yeah.
You can find me at Chewbacca Defense on Twitter and here sometimes, as long as we record.
See, now you're learning.
Yeah. See?
Fuck both of you. All right, guys, I'm Matt Poole. I'm Matt Poole, aka I'm Matt Poole. I'm here. Watch our content. We just did an episode of Downgrade. Hopefully, we just uploaded an episode of Downgrade. Hope you liked it. It was on Mega Man. We touched on that. Next episode should be on Earthworm Jim, so get ready for that one. It's really fun. Gamer Grudge, keep watching that. We got HGF15, a lot of shows. We're picking up a lot of stuff.
I had totally forgotten that basketball takes place in Milwaukee.
Oh God, yes, I forgot about that too. The Milwaukee Bears.
Look, is it really that much different than the Milwaukee Brewers?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I hope we get to do basketball. People, guys, just vote for basketball.
I'm rooting for Major League 3 just for continuity's sake.
No, me and do not want that to happen.
I said nothing.
Yeah, no, we're all fine torching this shit, Mac. You're the one with the problem.
Well, if we do basketball,
It's like I'm not moving my veto off of Waterworld. So
Yeah, no, that's where everybody's veto chip is placed.
Waterworld. Scott, what you think? Waterworld.
I think we should avoid it as much as possible.
Yep, we are now once again at 3 vetoes on Waterworld. Veto passes.
Fuck all y'all. That movie won't get
Look,
done.
hey, how about this? You review the Virtual Boy game and we'll talk.
Deal.
But you have to play it the entire time for reviewing it.
Deal.
All right. Where the
um,
hell are you going to get a Virtual Boy? I don't know.
You know what? I will get a Virtual Boy. We do Waterworld. Anyway, please, people, go watch it. And also, how about this, Zach? If we get 15,000 subscribers, we'll do Waterworld.
No.
Yes.
No. 3 vetoes. 3 vetoes, Mac.
We'll do the Postman before we do Waterworld.
Damn straight we will.
And just for anybody that cares, I made 105 bait during the episode.
And that's where we need to end the episode, people.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I mean, I couldn't leave him hanging.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, people.